Hey folks, Shane the farmer, Cambacho Project Farm. Here I am out with a set of sea tines. I've been sinking them in probably 4 to maximum of 6 inches. But what I'm working on is we're pretty high in the landscape on the farm. We're on the edge of like eucalypt forest, so it's pretty ordinary soil in terms of it's a soil that had trees on it which maintained the fertility and all the cycling of the minerals, and it's been cleared and drained and just been washing away for many decades. So the end result of that is a fairly good stand of giant rat's tail grass. So I'm working up here. I've slashed this area, but you'll get an idea along this is a contour here. You'll get an idea of the density of the rat's tail tussocks on this paddock. And it certainly made the tractor and the slasher work a little bit. It wasn't a cakewalk or a walk in the park, as they say. But what I've done after I've slashed is I've come up here with a hay rake and I've raked up all the slashings into lines. So two methods in the madness here. I'm not going to make hay, although it would be pretty durable hay. It lasts a long time if you fed it to livestock. They'd never be able to digest it. But yeah, this is one is to get a big amount of organic matter in these strips, and it's working the rat's tail against the rat's tail. So what I'm finding is when we rake this stuff up like this, rat's tail on rat's tail, or any grass on any grass, it'll kill out what's underneath this mulch bed. So it'll give you a clear strip. And what we'll do into these strips up here is we'll start planting trees into them. So we'll use this massive amount of rat's tail mulch to start the fertility, the cycling of minerals and whatever. We'll kill out what's underneath the rat's tail, and we'll get down to where, like right here now, we've got excellent soil moisture here, right under this stuff, with bugger all rain. So this is actually creating water in the environment with this stuff and getting things working again. And so I'm going to start to where I've ripped here, just open it up a little bit to two things. One is to let the air in, let the water in, and create, the third thing is create space for new plants. So I'll probably get some seed. I'll get trendy and buy some multi-species cover crop and get it into here. But my main thing I'll be putting into here will be some sort of legumes, because in this sort of situation, two things have been locked up, stop cycling. One is calcium, the other one's nitrogen, and the third one is water. So this ripping will and putting legumes in, they'll start to address the water, the calcium and the nitrogen situation. So this is like a first trial plot. Some of this rat's tail is on the edge of a precipice. You can see there's not much life in this tussock here, not much life in that tussock there. I suspect this last summer, there's a lot of this rat's tail started to get kind of a pasture dieback into it, which is pretty bloody exciting to me, because it means that it's done what it came here to do. And its role when it came here was to, and look at this soil underneath here. Look at that. Isn't that something? I ripped this paddock a couple of years ago when I put these contours in. And I think we're seeing the result of that ripping. It's let some other grasses come in. It's kind of thinned the rat's tail. And you'll see a lot of this rat's tail, when you pull the rippers through, it flips the whole tussock out Look at the bloody root system on that stuff, hey? So we get a certain amount of the tussocks will lift out. That creates a bit of space. There's one that's almost lifted right out. But yeah, we're tickling it up a little bit, creating a bit of disturbance. I'll get some more seed in here, so we'll get a jump away in spring with some new species. And I want to put in things like legumes like Dolichos that are fairly vigorous, that will actually scramble over the top of this GRT and turn the volume on the GRT down a bit, cut the light out from it. And I'll put in things like a hybrid sorghum like Sugar Drip or something that will grow up like 6 or 8 foot tall and also take the light away from the GRT. And so remove its competitive advantage to a degree, and now's the time to do it with this rat's tail kind of signaling that it's coming to the end of its era here. It's starting to get this kind of pasture dieback type virus into it. Look at this one here that got flipped out of the ground, totally out of the ground. But yeah, it signaled to me that it's done its job, and now's the time to come in and create the next disturbance and put the next set of species in and get a shift in this country. So yeah, this is my first little plot, experimental. I've got another plot down below the contour. I'll leave that. I'll just continue to slash that one and rake it onto the lines to plant trees, and you know, start creating magic just by clearing those strips of mulch, clear the rat's tail along them, and just see how we go. Like, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on it, but it's just just play around and see if we can get a conversion here and start to pick this soil up. We've ponded all this gully below here, so we're starting to manage the water and get the water out of that gully and out onto the top of the ridges. Picking a lot of water up from the next door there, up that hill and all around here, because this country is hydrologically on its knees. So we get a lot of water, a lot of fertility, a lot of organic matter comes running in, and now's the time to start really focusing on harvesting it and creating some magic with it. Instead of going to the shop and buying inputs, we'll import it from next door for no cost and turn it into something productive. So yeah, that's today's story on the rat's tail. I can just manage it and get an increase in the other species, get a bit of my E9 biodynamic activator onto it, start to help the shift in the soil, and see what we can create. This is a hilltop pond here, so on top of the ridge top, gravelly is all buggery, so it's an old recharge or intake zone from millions of years ago. And so we've now brought the contour from over yonder, we brought it in here, created a little bit of a pond to pick that water up and let it soak in to recharge. And yeah, I'd probably turn this into a gravel pit as well if I wanted to. There's some pretty good gravel here for doing a bit of, you know, gravel tracks on the farm and that, where you need to get rid of the mud. But yeah, that's today's story. Wonderful weather we're getting. I'm anticipating that we're rapidly coming into spring. Like we're past the halfway mark in July. We've got August to tuck in, and then it's springtime. So getting this ready I'll get the seed in here, ready to go. As soon as we get any rain in the spring, we'll have plants growing in this area and start the conversion. And I've got trees coming. We've got a mob of students coming on the 22nd, so we'll plant out just one of these lines, I think, of mulch with trees, and just see how the trees go. I don't want to kind of stick my neck out too far and put too many trees in and watch them perish. I'd rather put a small number in. We'll put about 100 trees in, and then I can easily manage that with an IBC, 1,000-litre IBC pod on a trailer, bring it up here and water the trees if they need it, if they need any help with survival. So that's today's episode. Bye bye.